Many people believe that in order to achieve great success, you must take enormous, dramatic leaps. They imagine that overnight transformations are possible and that everything must change at once. But the truth is quite the opposite. The most profound achievements in life are rarely the result of sudden breakthroughs. They are the sum of small, consistent steps taken over time. Small steps, when done consistently, create big change, and this is the secret that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Think about planting a tree. You don't wake up one morning to find a full-grown oak in your backyard. You start with a tiny seed. You water it, nurture it, give it sunlight, and protect it from storms. Each day the changes are almost invisible, but over months and years, that small seed grows into a magnificent tree. Success works the same way. Each small positive action you take is like watering that seed. At first, progress may seem slow. You may wonder if it's worth the effort. But every action compounds, and soon, you will look back and realize how far you've come. The magic of small steps is that they are achievable. 1 hour of focused work, one small improvement each day, one intentional decision. They all matter. These steps may seem insignificant in isolation, but their impact is exponential. When you focus on what you can do today, rather than worrying about the entire mountain you must climb, you gain clarity and direction. You eliminate overwhelm, and you begin to move forward. This is why the most successful people don't wait for perfect conditions. They take what they have, start where they are, and act with intention. Consistency is the key. Small steps only lead to big change when they are repeated day after day. This is where discipline comes in. Talent, luck, and opportunities may open doors, but it is the daily commitment to improvement that builds lasting results. Even when motivation fades, discipline ensures that you continue to progress. You learn, you grow, and your actions start to compound in ways you cannot immediately see. By embracing small steps consistently, you develop a rhythm, a pattern of progress that becomes unstoppable over time. Another powerful aspect of small steps is that they reduce fear. Big goals often feel intimidating. The bigger the goal, the bigger the hesitation. But when you break the goal into small, manageable actions, it becomes approachable. You gain confidence with each completed step, and momentum builds naturally. Fear diminishes and courage grows. You begin to trust yourself in your process. The small victories create a feedback loop that propels you toward your larger aspirations. Small steps also teach patience and humility. They remind you that success is rarely instant, and meaningful change takes time. When you embrace this process, you avoid the frustration that comes from expecting overnight results. Instead, you cultivate gratitude for progress, no matter how small. Each day becomes an opportunity to grow, to refine your skills, and to invest in your future. Ultimately, small steps create big change because they allow ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. You don't need massive resources, unlimited time, or perfect conditions to start. You only need the willingness to take the first small action today, then another tomorrow, and the day after that. Over time, these steps will compound into achievements that once seemed impossible. Remember, success is not a giant leap. It is the accumulation of small, deliberate actions taken consistently over time. The seed you plant today, the effort you invest this week, the skill you develop this month. These are the building blocks of your future. Take small steps. Take them consistently. And watch as the magic of small actions transforms your life into something extraordinary. Focus is the secret ingredient that separates those who dream from those who achieve. In a world overflowing with distractions, endless notifications, and competing priorities, the ability to focus has become more valuable than ever. It is not about how many hours you work or how many tasks you juggle, but about how deeply you can direct your attention toward what truly matters. When you harness focus, you turn ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. Focus starts with clarity. You cannot aim at a target you cannot see. When your mind is scattered across countless tasks, your energy is diluted and progress becomes slow and frustrating. But when you identify what is most important, when you set a clear objective and dedicate your attention to it, you create power. That power transforms small, consistent actions into momentum that drives you forward. Every decision you make, every hour you invest, compounds in alignment with your purpose. Focus is not just attention, it is intention in action. One of the greatest gifts of focus is that it amplifies your efficiency. When you concentrate on one task at a time, your mind becomes fully engaged. You think more clearly, make better decisions, and act with precision. Multitasking, on the other hand, scatters your energy and diminishes results. People often confuse being busy with being productive, but focus teaches the difference. Being focused means prioritizing what moves you closer to your goal and ignoring what does not. It is about learning to say no to distractions, to time-wasting habits, and even to opportunities that seem appealing, but do not serve your ultimate purpose. Focus also builds resilience. When your attention is fixed on meaningful objectives, challenges become stepping stones rather than obstacles. The difficulties you encounter are easier to manage because your mind is aligned with solutions instead of getting lost in problems. Focus allows you to maintain progress even when motivation wavers. It turns consistency into a habit and habit into success. The more you practice focus, the more natural it becomes, and the easier it is to stay on course even when external circumstances are chaotic. Another powerful aspect of focus is how it shapes your learning. By concentrating on a skill, a craft, or a discipline, you accelerate your growth. Deep work, sustained practice, and deliberate effort all require focus. The part-time hours you dedicate to learning a skill can be far more effective than long hours spent haphazardly. Focus allows you to absorb knowledge, apply it, and refine it. It transforms time into mastery and effort into results. Focus also cultivates creativity. When your mind is clear and undistracted, ideas flow more freely. Solutions that seemed impossible emerge, and opportunities previously hidden become visible. Focus does not stifle imagination, it channels it. It allows you to explore possibilities without being overwhelmed by the noise of irrelevant concerns. In life, many people wait for the perfect time or the perfect conditions to pursue their dreams. But the truth is that the perfect time rarely comes. Focus allows you to create your own conditions for success. It teaches you to work with what you have, to concentrate on what matters, and to consistently take steps forward. Every great achievement in history started with someone who focused their energy on a goal, no matter how small their resources or limited their time. Focus is not merely a tool, it is a superpower. It turns vision into reality, distractions into clarity, and ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. When you master focus, you gain control over your life, your time, and your destiny. Every action becomes intentional, every decision purposeful, and every day meaningful. By cultivating the discipline to focus, you unlock your potential, achieve your goals, and discover what you are truly capable of. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life, yet so few people understand how to harness it. Momentum fuels confidence because it is the natural result of consistent, focused action. Every step you take toward your goals, no matter how small, creates a ripple that pushes you forward. It's not about huge leaps or sudden breakthroughs. It's about showing up day after day, making progress, and letting the accumulation of effort carry you. Think about a rolling snowball. At first, it is small and seemingly insignificant. But as it continues to roll, gathering snow along the way, it becomes unstoppable. That is the essence of momentum. When you work consistently, your efforts compound. Every small success becomes evidence that you are capable, and that evidence grows stronger with each achievement. Confidence is born not from wishful thinking or luck, but from repeated demonstrations of your ability to take action and produce results. Many people fail to act because they think confidence comes first. They wait until they feel ready, until they have the perfect plan or perfect resources. But the truth is, confidence follows action. The more you move, the more you realize your potential. Momentum removes doubt because it replaces hesitation with results. When you start accomplishing things, even in small increments, you see that your fears and uncertainties were often exaggerated. You begin to trust yourself, and that trust builds naturally into confidence. Momentum also fuels confidence because it creates a rhythm in your life. When you take action consistently, you train your mind and body to expect progress. You begin to operate from a position of capability rather than fear. That rhythm is contagious. One area of progress often spills over into others. The person who builds momentum in their work often finds momentum in their relationships, health, and personal growth as well. Confidence grows because you know you can create results in multiple areas of life when you apply yourself. Another key aspect of momentum is that it makes failure less intimidating. When you are moving forward consistently, setbacks are temporary. You learn to see them as small obstacles rather than permanent barriers. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to adjust, improve, and keep rolling. Confidence grows not because everything goes perfectly, but because you prove to yourself repeatedly that you can handle whatever comes your way. Momentum transforms uncertainty into trust in your own abilities. Momentum is also motivational. Success feeds itself. When you see progress, your energy increases. The tasks that once seemed difficult become easier because you are already moving forward. Action generates more action, and confidence grows alongside it. This is why people who embrace momentum rarely stop. Once they experience the power of consistent effort, they understand that movement itself is the secret to success. Waiting for motivation or perfect circumstances only delays growth. Momentum teaches you that the act of starting is more important than perfection, and that consistency is the ultimate confidence builder. Finally, momentum fuels confidence because it produces visible results. Seeing tangible outcomes, projects completed, skills improved, goals reached, creates undeniable proof that you are capable. Your confidence is grounded in reality, not imagination. This is the kind of confidence that endures because it is earned through action, reinforced by progress, and strengthened by experience. Every step you take adds to that foundation, and before long, you find yourself accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. Momentum, once created, becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. Confidence grows, action grows, and success becomes inevitable. The secret is simply start, persist, and keep moving. Momentum will do the rest. Patience is one of the most underrated qualities in the journey towards success. Many people look at the achievements of others and assume they happened overnight, but the truth is that success is rarely instant. It is the result of consistent effort, repeated practice, and the quiet accumulation of small victories over time. Patience is not about waiting passively. It is an active commitment to the process, a willingness to continue working and improving even when the results are not immediately visible. Those who learn to embrace patience understand that every great accomplishment is built upon a foundation of perseverance, and that setbacks and delays are not failures but opportunities to strengthen character and refine strategy. In life, impatience often leads to frustration. When you want results too quickly, you may cut corners, make hasty decisions, or abandon your goals entirely. Patience allows you to see beyond the immediate moment and to understand that growth is a process. It teaches you to value consistency over intensity and progress over perfection. When you work patiently, you can approach challenges with a clear mind and steady hands, knowing that each small step forward is a step closer to your ultimate vision. You begin to appreciate the journey itself, recognizing that the lessons learned along the way are just as important as the destination. Patience is also closely tied to resilience. When things don't go as planned, a patient mindset prevents discouragement. It enables you to assess situations calmly, learn from mistakes, and adapt without losing momentum. Every obstacle becomes a teacher, every delay an opportunity to improve. Success does not always favor the fastest or the strongest. More often, it rewards those who endure, who persist when others give up, who remain steadfast while others seek shortcuts. Patience gives you the ability to endure the discomfort of growth, the uncertainty of change, and the slow pace of meaningful progress. Part-time ambition and patience go hand in hand. You may only have a limited amount of time each day to work on your goals, but what matters is that you use that time consistently. You cannot force mastery overnight, and trying to do so often leads to burnout or disappointment. By practicing patience, you honor the time you do have, understanding that small, steady efforts are far more effective than sporadic bursts of intensity. 1 hour a day, repeated week after week, month after month, compounds into results far greater than any single frantic attempt. Patience also cultivates a deeper understanding of cause and effect. You begin to see that results are not random. They are the product of effort, learning, and persistence. This understanding gives you confidence because it reassures you that the work you are doing now, even if invisible, will eventually produce tangible outcomes. You learn to trust the process, to stay committed to your daily actions, and to remain calm in the face of uncertainty. Every step, no matter how small, is meaningful when approached with patience. Ultimately, patience is a form of wisdom. It teaches you to value long-term rewards over short-term gratification, to invest in growth even when it seems slow, and to believe in the power of cumulative effort. Those who master patience not only achieve their goals, but also develop a sense of inner peace and resilience that makes every success more fulfilling. By embracing patience as part of the process, you transform the journey itself into a source of strength, motivation, and ultimate success. Too often, people believe that success comes from working longer hours, from exhausting themselves day and night. They think that the person who is the busiest is automatically the most productive, the most accomplished, or the most successful. But real success isn't measured in hours, it's measured in discipline. Discipline is the invisible force that turns effort into achievement, that converts intention into results, and that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. You don't need to spend 12 hours a day to make a difference. What you need is to make the hours you have count. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Anyone can have an idea, anyone can talk about change, but only those with discipline will take consistent action toward their goals. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when the alarm rings, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what keeps you working on your skills, even when distractions try to pull you away. It doesn't matter if you only have 1 hour a day to dedicate to your ambition. That hour, if used with discipline, can outshine 10 hours of aimless effort. The magic of discipline is that it builds habits, and habits shape your destiny. Every disciplined choice is a vote for the life you want. Every time you show up, even when motivation is low, you are training your mind and your character. Over time, these choices accumulate and the results compound. The person who works sporadically may get occasional wins, but the person who works with discipline will eventually surpass everyone else, not because they had more hours, but because they made better use of the hours they had. Discipline also teaches patience. It reminds you that results are rarely instant, that progress often comes in small increments. Yet, those who practice discipline are not discouraged by slow beginnings. They know that every step, no matter how small, is progress toward a larger goal. They understand that the real measure of success is persistence, the willingness to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. This is the essence of part-time Time ambition, using what you have, however limited, to build your future consistently. Another powerful aspect of discipline is focus. When you are disciplined, you prioritize the tasks that matter most. You resist distractions, avoid time-wasting activities, and concentrate on what will move you forward. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things at the right time. And because you are disciplined, you can accomplish in one focused hour what might take others an entire day of scattered effort. Discipline multiplies the value of your time, turning even brief moments into significant achievements. Finally, discipline fuels confidence. When you stick to your plan, when you honor your commitments to yourself, you prove that you can be relied upon. Confidence doesn't come from luck. It comes from the knowledge that you have done the work again and again, even when it was hard. And that confidence propels you forward, giving you the courage to take bigger steps, to dream bigger dreams, and to achieve what once seemed impossible. So remember this, it is not the hours you put in that determine your success. It is the discipline with which you use them. 1 hour of focused, disciplined effort is more valuable than 10 hours of unfocused, aimless work. Time ambition can become full. Time results when paired with unwavering discipline. Show up consistently. Do the work even when you don't feel like it. Focus on the essentials. Build habits that compound. That is how ordinary moments turn into extraordinary achievements. That is how discipline beats hours. Many people think that creativity and courage are traits you are either born with or you are not. They assume that innovation requires grand gestures or monumental risks. But the truth is far more empowering. Creativity and courage grow in small, consistent steps. They flourish in the quiet moments when you take action, even when the odds seem small, and when your efforts go unnoticed. The real magic happens when you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start using what you have right now in the time you have available. Each small action, each minor decision becomes a seed for ingenuity. It's in these small steps that ideas begin to form, connections emerge, and solutions appear where none seemed possible before. When you take small steps consistently, you remove the paralyzing fear of failure. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to act despite it. Acting on small ideas reduces the pressure, giving you the freedom to experiment, to make mistakes, and to learn. Every small success, every tiny experiment reinforces your confidence and builds the courage to tackle bigger challenges. And with courage comes creativity. When you're willing to try, even on a small scale, your mind begins to see possibilities that others miss. You discover opportunities hidden in ordinary tasks, and before long, what started as a small effort transforms into meaningful innovation. Small steps also allow you to refine your ideas incrementally. Creativity is rarely born fully formed. It evolves through trial and error, observation, and reflection. When you take bold leaps without preparation, the risk of failure is high, and the lessons are often overwhelming. But when you act in manageable steps, you give yourself room to adjust, to pivot, and to improve continuously. Each small step teaches something new, revealing insights that would have been impossible to see in one giant leap. The cumulative effect of these micro actions is astounding. They build not only skills but also vision, and gradually your ideas gain clarity and impact. Another important aspect is that small steps reduce the fear of judgment. Many people let the opinions of others paralyze their ambitions. But when you move quietly, step by step, your creativity is nurtured in a safe space. You can explore unconventional ideas without pressure, and you can take risks without worrying about instant recognition. This freedom encourages experimentation and bold thinking. Over time, these small acts of courage and creativity compound, forming habits that shape your character and define your approach to challenges. It is also worth noting that small steps create momentum. Every completed task, every small idea acted upon, adds to your energy and drive. The act of moving forward, no matter how minor, produces a sense of progress that fuels further creativity and courage. You begin to see that success is not a matter of waiting for the right moment, but of starting now, even if it's only an inch at a time. And as you accumulate these small victories, you attract opportunities, networks, and experiences that amplify your ability to create and act boldly. Ultimately, the magic of creativity and courage lies in consistency. It is the repeated practice of taking small, intentional steps that transforms ordinary people into innovators, risk takers, and leaders. You don't need grand gestures or huge blocks of time. You need commitment to incremental action, the daily choices, the quiet experiments, the willingness to act when it is inconvenient. All of this nurtures the qualities that change lives. And one day when you look back, you'll realize that what seemed small and insignificant at the time was, in reality, the foundation of extraordinary creativity and courage that no one could ignore.